Hey guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Green Up Academy podcast. I'm excited to announce our first event that we're going to be doing while all of you guys are at Equip Expo through the Green Up Academy called the Green Up Gathering. It's going to be on October 16th, which is Wednesday night while you're at Equip Expo. It's going to be at 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. at Main Event in Louisville, Kentucky. If you've never been to Main Event, think of it like Dave & Buster's on steroids. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have amazing barbecue and food. We're going to have a keynote speech from me. We're going to be talking about your business moving forward in 2025 and things you can expect through us at the Green Up Academy. We're also going to be having unlimited games, unlimited arcade time, bowling, and just getting to hang out with all the people who you've met through the Green Up Academy, through the lawn and landscape industry in one place in a small setting. So it's only $60, guys. It's an amazing value. We're going to have giveaways from Ballard Products, Yeti, and much, much more. So we want you to come, and we're going to be announcing and launching this on August 12th, which is Monday night at 5 p.m. It's going to go live. And like I said, these 40 spots, we feel very confident they're going to fill fast. So make sure you do that. We're going to announce it on our Instagram, our Facebook, and through an email, and of course through our website at thegreenupacademy.com. So you guys make sure you're there. We're really excited. I can't wait to see you and meet you guys in person, those who I've talked to online for many, many years and a lot of time. So looking forward to it. Make sure you come to our Green Up Gathering.
Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
What's up, everybody? Alex Kirby here from the Green Up podcast, where we talk to you about how to level up your landscaping and green industry business one day, one listen, one mow at a time. Hope you guys are doing great wherever you're at. It is, we're in the middle of hurricane, I think it's Debbie here in South Carolina where I'm at. So it's just rained for like 2 days straight. Hasn't been anything crazy yet, but we're in the middle of the chaos right now. So they say it's going to get really bad today. And so if you're in Virginia, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, Florida, any of you guys, I hope and pray that you're doing okay, you're safe. And I know you ain't doing much mowing right now, so that doesn't help the bank account. But yeah, so it's just a crazy time in weather, hurricane season. I'm actually going on a cruise in a month from like today, literally today. So I'm hoping we don't have any issues there for my family vacation with my kids and my wife, Faith. So looking forward to that. We're getting close, guys. A couple quick things. We're getting close to Equip Expo. If you guys have not gotten your tickets, I recommend you do very, very quickly. We're going to have an event. We're going to have a house a mile away from the event as well, or from Equip, excuse me. And so we're really looking forward to for the time there. We're going to be announcing. Well, actually, in this episode, you guys heard at the beginning of the show, we're going to be putting our Green Up Gathering is going to be something we really want you to come to. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be limited to 40 seats, 40 tickets. So make sure you sign up ASAP and get that. That's going to be where we get together. We have some community. We have a lot of fun, a lot of guys that maybe you've met through the Green Up Academy, or maybe you followed me on here for many years, back to Trifecta to now, and you've connected with people in the green industry. It's going to be great. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have I'm going to speak, and it's just going to be a great time. So really, in dinner, it's going to be amazing. So it's going to be a great value for what you get. So details are in the links that we're going to be providing, and also at the beginning of the episode, I would have said the details. So hope you guys can make that. Really, really hope that you do that. Today, in this episode, guys, I want to talk about something I think that is I really want to hone in on, and it's something I talk a lot about, and I want to explain it. So this is called 410s Model Explained. So if you guys have been listeners for a week or for years, I am a big believer in the 410s model when it comes to a lawn and landscape company. And so you ask yourself, okay, what does that mean, Alex? Well, for your crews in the field, I believe that you should run a 4-day schedule, 10-hour days. there's many reasons why, and that's what I'm about to talk about in this episode, because over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten through coaching calls and through just questions through our DMs on Instagram is like, hey, help me understand how this can help my company more, how it helped me more. I just need you to explain it more. So I'm going to do that today. There are a couple asterisks to it, guys. If you are the 410s, like if you have a big company, maybe 20 people plus, and you have a couple admin people, well, they can work, normal hours. We used to have our admin work, 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and then 8 to 1 on Friday. So you don't have to do this model for those like admin people. This is for your production crews, your maintenance crews, for your managers in the field. So what we normally did is our people will be on salary, and they'd be 44 hours is kind of the we do 44 to 46 hours March through October, and then they would be off on Fridays and do 36 roughly 36 hours, because we in the off season November through January and February, we would move to 4-day weeks, 8-hour days, so 32 hours. So they would make up their salary hours in those times. So it averaged out to like 42 to 44 hours for our salary people. So you don't want to overwork your salary people, but it's the slow season. They would make it up. I only work 32 hours. The other 10 months they would work, 44, 46 hours. Because on Fridays, our salaried employees, which is like production managers or crew managers, would work 8 to 1 when the crews weren't there to get ready for the next week. So let me kind of start with just point number one. Start with why 410s. Why do you think this is a good idea? Well, good question. When I first started my company, Trifecta Landscaping, back in 2017, after year one, we did $250,000 in revenue the first year, which was awesome. I'm a sports analytical person, so I was looking into year two. I was in the off season. I was trying to learn and grow. Did not know about Equip Expo yet, so I did not attend that. So I was just kind of picking people's brains, and I started looking on YouTube a little bit, but YouTube really wasn't big yet. And the type of person I am, I'm always trying to figure out like efficiency. I'm not really like a super detailed person, but the concepts I am big on. And so I was a little frustrated. I was looking back at what I was frustrated on, in year one. And one of my frustrations was the scheduling, because, as a person, when you're learning, when you're starting out, like schedule is probably like the hardest part of your business. One of the hardest parts, because you're like, you don't know how to schedule well. You're getting calls. You don't want to say no because you're a new company. It gets very, very challenging, as you guys know. And so I was analyzing, okay, there's got to be a better way, was like my premise of my thoughts. Like, what would be the better way? I don't want to work weekends. I didn't have kids yet, but I had a wife, and I'd find myself having to go mow half a day on Saturday after working 55 hours during the week, and don't want to do that at all. And I was like, how do we avoid weather changing the schedule all the time? How do we not be in the sun 5 days a week? In South Carolina, it gets 100 degrees all the time. So that was one of my pain points. Being a solo person, I had one full-time person, one part-time, and you guys listening who are like solo or small companies with two or three crews or less, you're in the field a good bit of the time. Then you have all these quotes to do. Then you got to take things to get fixed. Like, there's just so many things to do. And if you're working in the field 5 days a week, when are you supposed to have time to do any of that stuff? Work on your business, not in it. So those were kind of my three premise areas of I was trying to fix. And so I had a friend of mine that worked at Michelin. We have a big Michelin plant here in the town I was in. And he was talking about working his 3 12-hour shifts. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. How do you like that? He's like, well, I like it, except it's swing shifts, which means like a couple weeks you work days, a couple you work nights. But my wife's uncle actually was only on days. And he was like, man, it's long days, but once you're done, and you've got 4 days off a week. And so I kind of was interested in that conversation, and I left and was like, you know what? That's interesting. Let me see and I was like, let me try to flush this out for myself if we ran something like that. So that's where I can't, and I'm not saying I invented the 410s. I know there's companies that have done it, but I definitely have been, if not, was one of the early people talking about the 410s model. It's one reason why a lot of you people found me on it online, is because I started talking about it back in 2018 when we started implementing it. And so the first thing that is key for me with why it's so important is when you run, and it's a Monday through Thursday schedule that we run with that. And then that's all your production teams. And then we worked 8 to 1 on Fridays for non-crews. Okay. The first thing it did for me as a business owner is it gave me back bandwidth. And what I mean by that is it allowed for me to now have all of my trucks scheduled to have oil changes on Fridays. It let me have coaching calls. Like for me, when I was meeting with my mentor, I could meet him on Fridays for lunch, no problem. I knew that there wouldn't be a ton of fires and all these things pop up to where I'd have to say, sorry, I got to cancel. I can't do it. A crew needs me. That was very, very important. It gave me opportunities for training the guys. So that's one thing that, a lot of us, I know this because we all talk about it. It's like, when am I supposed to train guys when I need them out in the field? Fridays is the answer. If you have new hires, you hire 2 new people, have them come in for a whole Friday before they start, train them all day. So it just creates that space to do everything in the business aside from the productivity type things. If you're meeting with your accountant, like all those things, guys, you can schedule for those Fridays. Okay. It's huge. So bandwidth is a number one thing. I talked about this a little bit real quick, but maintenance. Okay. So this sounds crazy. This sounds silly what I'm about to say, but like, when are you supposed to get a haircut? Like scheduling oil changes, getting your appointments done, going to the doctor, meeting with potential hires, interviewing people. If you're in the field, you know how busy it gets, man. You're running this to this crew. You're doing that. You're trying to mow. You're trying to help the crew. It's like you can't actually schedule anything without it being a rushed thing. So having the 410s model helps you have that Friday is your day to just work on the business, and that is including maintaining your mowers, your fleet, your vehicles, all those things. So that's number 2. Maintenance is huge benefit for the 410s model. The point number 3, what I kind of want to point out is a lot of people go, wait, but you're going to leave every Friday and not produce revenue? Well, that's funny you say that. If you do the math, I'm talking about shifting hours. You're thinking of that as days when you say that. So you're going, most people, most lawn care guys are 7:30, 8 o'clock to 5, right? So they're working 5 days, but they're still only producing productivity of 40 hours or 40, 44, whatever the case may be. I'm just asking you to shift your hours from that you would work on a Friday, those 8 hours, into Monday through Thursday. So you're not actually producing less time. You're just producing less days, if that makes sense. So the hard part, right? The greedy part in you goes, well, I should just work 5/10 so I can get more in. Well, the problem is this is where overtime destroys lawn and landscape companies, because I'm a big believer for about until about 2021 through 2021, I was all about, hey, overtime is the way I want to give my guys bonuses. I want to give them as much overtime as possible. Then I started realizing that COVID changed people's work ethic, in my opinion. So I started realizing, and the wages were going up. So a guy at $20 an hour on overtime, he's making $30 an hour. And if you can't really out earn that overtime with mowing. Now with hardscaping and stuff, you certainly can. But again, as you creep over that 35-hour mark, guys, your productivity and your efficiency goes down. Guys are getting tired. They start being lazier. Not lazy. They start getting tired. They don't do work as fast. They don't do a good job. So you're not getting the productivity in hours 35 to 50 like you were the previous ones. So you start paying all that overtime, you really are not getting that return back, paying a guy time and a half on that time. So this helps a ton with productivity. And going back, I wrote this down on number 4 is labor costs. Like your number one expense in the green industry is labor costs most of the time. So you've got to be able to control your labor costs like a valve. Okay, when you approach that 40 hours, if my guys were doing 410s and it was 7 o'clock to 5 and they got back at 5:20, okay, I'm paying an hour or so of overtime a week. Or, maybe I would approve 3 hours and, hey, stay out till 5:30, whatever. Guys, you paying 10 hours a week in overtime. Again, $20 an hour, guys, for the example. That's 30. That's another $300 a week per guy to your payroll, plus the taxes you have to spend. So let's call it $350. Okay. You got 4 guys. That's $1,300 or so dollars, $1,300 to $1,400 a week that adds to your payroll. That's $5,000 a month. You have to ask yourself, if I'm spending that $5,000 more in overtime, am I producing the same number to get to the same net profit goals I have, which should be 15 to 20% net profit? And some hardscapers would argue a little bit more. You don't really see that possible right now. I don't see that. I don't see how you can outproduce that overtime extra wages. So it helps you control your labor costs significantly. What you can do is, if let's say, this is number 5 is opportunities. Okay. Now, if you have a job, let's say you get a 40-yard mulch job approved, but you don't have any, you don't have any room in your Monday through Thursday schedule. It's all filled up. Well, then you can say, hey guys, we are going to have an overtime opportunity on Friday, half a day. I'll buy you guys lunch. You come in, knock out that mulch job with 4 guys. It's only a half day. Pay them lunch, have good camaraderie. Or you can hire the college kids or part-time people to say, hey, I only need people on Fridays, and they're not overtime people. So you can go and get some college students who just work Fridays or Fridays for you, or retired people who just can only make up. I think retired people can only make, gosh, I wish I had this number. I'm sorry, guys, but they can only make a certain amount with Social Security. So you can hire people who are on Social Security. I know this sounds crazy, but I actually hired a guy towards the end of Trifecta who was like 63. He was one of our best workers ever. He was super great. So there's ways you can hire, people on Fridays only to control that overtime as well. Or like I said, you maybe a crew called out sick and they can make up their hours on Friday on these extra jobs that, maybe there's urgency. Maybe one other thing is, like, you could put out fires on Fridays. So let's say you had a job that went really, really bad and the customer's really upset. And you're like, well, sorry, we're busy this week. Got to get to you next week. You can, hey, you know what? We'll be there Friday. We'll come replace that 1 pallet of sod Friday. So it gives you room to put out fires as well. Very, very important. And then kind of the last part, and this is more personal for you guys as the owner, and that's really what I'm trying to give you time and space to do is quotes. When are you supposed to do quotes as a owner operator or someone that has, again, you don't have this huge staff. You're trying to train, you're trying to do quotes, you're trying to do bids, you're trying to do bookkeeping, you're trying to make sure you're hiring the right people. You don't have the time Monday through Thursday, guys. So, or through the week. So by going to the 410s, you can get what you need to get done Monday through Thursday. And then what you have to get done, running payroll, hiring, like I said, looking at the numbers, looking at your books, making sure you're hitting your profit margins. And then again, doing quotes and meeting with big clients potentially. That's 6 things I said there, guys. I think that I understand why you are apprehensive if you don't do it. Okay. I totally understand, because it's not the way of the world and it's not what you've done for probably years or for a long time. If you give it a chance, I also think, I didn't even talk about this. This is point number 7. It allows you to hire better people. So that was one of my big reasons was, if I have a guy, us and Amazon pay roughly the same, excuse me, or, us and Costco or whatever the case may be. If I can give someone a 3-day weekend and they don't want to be stuck at a desk at Costco, or not a desk, but like a cashier job or walking around stocking shelves, which can be kind of boring. Hey, you can do this 4 days a week and be done and have a 3-day weekend. It gave me a huge recruiting leg up as well in the game. So that was another reason I was able to hire a lot better people, because it was attractive to say we work 410s. Now you may ask yourself, well, what happens if it rains? Okay. Well, you move that rain out day to Friday and they're off that Tuesday. That's it gives you a makeup rain up day. It's perfect. Or what if a guy wants overtime? Well, if it's available, then there's a list and seniority gets, you can kind of do like a shuffle or a drawing and stuff like that. We would rotate guys who had the opportunity for overtime if we had a huge need to do so. But guys, I hope you see by me kind of explaining this model, the huge benefits of running the 410s model. If you guys totally disagree, or you're like, I don't understand, I would love to hear from you at alex@thegreenupacademy.com. I want to hear your emails, your thoughts. If you have questions about how to implement your company, this is what I do for my coaching calls. Is if you have a need, if you have a huge question, you need an hour and a half to flush it out with me, I am more than happy to do that. So please sign up for a coaching call through the Green Up Academy as well. But if you just want to ask me a couple questions, I'll answer anything I can for you. But this is something that I think if you implemented in your business going into next year, it could change the way you look at your business. I've talked to so many guys lately who are just burnt out from the green industry. They're like, man, this is kicking my butt. For me, I have 3 young kids and they're 5, 3, and 1. And one of the reasons I wanted to go to the 410s was I wanted to make sure I was at all their T-ball games on Saturdays. I wanted to be the coach. And I never wanted to have to say, sorry, son, I have to go to work on Saturday to make up for the rain or whatever. I know that's not possible all the time in what we do. We're an outdoor services business. Weather happens, things happen. But 410s makes it 95% better and more where you can actually schedule vacation, make sure your family's first, and have a productive business that is also keeping you sane and healthy and not going crazy. So hopefully you guys have really enjoyed this episode. It's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. If you have any questions, you DM us, email us. We would love to ask a couple things. If you guys don't mind, we need some reviews on Apple Podcasts. So if you guys could leave us a 5-star review, that would be awesome. And then again, make sure you share our stuff so more people can get the word out. And again, look out for the Green Up Gathering info. Our signups are starting very, very soon. I think as of this episode, they'll probably be live. So just make sure you guys check that out. I want to hang out with you guys at Equip Expo. I'm not speaking at Boost this year. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just wanting to spend time with you guys. That's my goal. I'm going to actually post each day where I kind of might be hanging out so people can find me instead of having to run into me randomly. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at Equip, and the best is yet to come for you. Let me know what you think about the 410s model. I think it's the best model in the game, but that's just my preference and my opinion, but I think it's a good one. So hope you guys have a great day wherever you're at listening. This is Alex Kirby. I am your host, the Green Up Academy podcast. We help you guys level up one day at a time. Thanks, guys.